Hey everyone, here we're at Midwest Dreamin in Chicago. I'm here with Eric Wu, the founder of Bracket Labs, the makers of TaskRay. So Eric, what can you tell me about your product?
So we are modern project management inside of Salesforce. So 100% native to the platform, but we've kind of rethought the usability problems of typical project management. Like all the stuff that people hate to do in project management, we've tried to squeeze it out, make it nice and clean, easy, simple, visual.
So, you know, the example you kind of gave me was after your salespeople go out there and, you know, sell the product or widget or whatever it is they've got, you know, then to fulfill it, you know, it comes into this project. You guys can kind of define stuff like what are some of the features and typical use cases for this?
Sure. So that is our biggest use case, is like what happens after the opportunity closes, right? But if you think about different companies, different industries, that could be anything, right? So it has to be flexible enough to handle, you know, we've got a hydraulic valve manufacturer for the oil and gas industry. That guy's
services or...
Yeah, that guy's going to ship a custom part every time a customer calls versus, you know, we've got web services companies that onboard customers, right? But the features that we have are all kind of generic enough so that we can define what that looks like, build a template, clone it, and because we're native to the platform, even use automation to tie it all together and say, you know, every time these conditions happen in Salesforce, like a sales team closes a deal, go create the right template for fulfillment, go assign the right timeline. So everybody already has this all set up, and really the key thing here is we get everybody out of spreadsheets. Right?
Gotcha.
That's where most people are living today and managing this kind of stuff. It gets you the visibility of like end to end with your customer inside of Salesforce, all the way through, you know, a happy recurring customer who buying more stuff.
So what about like automation of, you know, things that need to go to a customer or go to a person on a team or fulfillment? Like what type of things do you do? Do you create tasks, sends emails?
That's right. So we create tasks, but I should note our tasks are not Salesforce tasks, right? It's a custom object inside. We create tasks, they're bunched into projects, they're managed on something that looks a lot like a Kanban board. And people are going to drag it around, they're going to track dates, they're going to track owners. We're not automating, you know, a send out of Salesforce necessarily.
Because Salesforce can do that basically.
Yeah, right. So we have plenty of customers, for instance, that combine it with an app like Conga.
Yeah.
Right, that actually, okay, when a project reaches a certain stage, go ahead and fire off a document and deliver it to that customer automatically.
You just give them the ability to do that kind of stuff,
right,
which they're kind of doing manually right now.
Not only manually, but not even getting it into the cloud, right?
Right.
So that's really when our customers show up looking for a solution, is when they realize, hey, we've got 15 different spreadsheets, 15 different processes for fulfilling, and our executive team doesn't know where we're at.
Right. So you talked about you know, making everything visible. So what type of screens and interfaces you guys have?
Yeah, so probably the most popular one that we've got takes the idea of a whiteboard with sticky notes on it.
Nice.
And powers it with objects behind it, right? But it's that simple to interact with and understand and visualize. But we also know not everybody thinks about information the same way, so we have a couple other ways that we visualize. One would put it in the order of its due dates, like lists of, you know, here's how I'm going to work through it, here's what's overdue, here's what's due today, et cetera. And then we even have like a more traditional project management view that looks like a Gantt chart, right? Put it on a timeline calendar and understand how this whole thing is laying out. So a lot of different ways you can work with it, and the beautiful thing here is it's all just one set of data. So if I've got a project manager working on the timeline, dragging things around there, and I'm over on the whiteboard working on my individual tasks, I see my project manager's updates in real time. Like it's all just one set of data. Yeah.
So being native, you know, on Salesforce obviously gives you a lot of flexibility. What are some innovative ways people are using this?
Yeah, we just saw a really cool implementation happen with Papa Murphy's International. And for those, you know, watching that don't know what Papa Murphy's is, it's a very large take and bake pizza chain. And they're running a franchise model, and the issue that they had was, you know, they have really aggressive growth goals for signing more and more new franchisees and bringing up those stores and doing all like the launch marketing. And they wanted a way, like a single way to kind of get visibility on how that was happening, as well as work with all these individual business owners that were their franchisees, right? So they turned on like a massive communities implementation, Salesforce communities, to bring in the portal aspect. So each individual franchisee can come as a community member and then use TaskRay to manage that store launch. The corporate side gets to see all the franchisee projects, you know, inside of Salesforce, but the franchisees only see their individual activities. And so a really interesting way to kind of work with that hybrid, customer partner model. And it's going to be huge. Like, it's already been very successful for them. It's a competitive differentiator in their industry. And Salesforce is even going to highlight them at Dreamforce this year. So that kind of blew us away. And one of the beautiful things here is they came up with that idea. They worked with an implementation partner to make it real. And our product, right out of the box, just worked, right? And that's the beauty of the Salesforce platform, like staying native. Yeah.
So if someone wants to get their hands on your product and try it out, what should they do?
Yeah, so we offer a free, fully functional, unlimited user trial right out of the AppExchange. So go to the AppExchange, type TaskRay right into the top search bar. You're going to find us because we're the top project management app in the AppExchange. And then go ahead and install that trial. It's going to give you all functionality right as soon as you install it. You can turn it on, give it a try, and then contact us. We're happy to walk you through any implementation questions, customization questions. We're kind of famous for our support, so yeah.
All right, Eric, thanks for your time.
Absolutely.